Hey, it's Friday, and listen to what James says. When we look into the Word serves as a mirror, right? He says this. He says, "Whoever looks intently into the perfect law that gives freedom and continues in it, not forgetting what they have heard, but doing it, they will be blessed in what they do." Now, as I'm filming this, I'm sitting with my friend, and I just made the comment, God's Word is so amazing. Like, there's so many different angles that you can take on it. And he had comment, he said, well, that's also a problem because people can weaponize it and they can use the word to say what they want it to say. But James, his whole point in this passage is not us using the word and arming ourselves to say what we want to say by using God's word, but allowing Jesus to say things to us through his word. So here's a couple angles on this verse. The first angle that I want to talk about, two words. It says, whoever looks intently into the perfect law that gives freedom. Typically, we don't think that laws give freedom. We think laws are restrictive, but not when it comes to God's word. His perfect law tries not to restrict us, but actually provides a framework so that we can have freedom underneath his care and his protection. This is the first angle that is so vastly different from the world's thought when it comes to law. Okay? Here's the second angle that kind of hits me. In the next phrase, he says, after you look intently into the perfect law that gives freedom and continues in it, not forgetting what they have heard, but doing it, right? So he's saying, here's where we take listening and doing, and we put them together. Earlier this week, I was talking about how oftentimes we listen really well, but we don't do really well when listen, both are necessary. You need to be a good listener of the word. In fact, you need to be a fantastic listener to the word because you don't want to misinterpret or misapply it. You really want to hear what God is saying through his word, okay? So you have to be a good listener, but James then wraps it together and he says, and then not forgetting who you are after you listen and you see who you are, but you actually obey the word. There's a second angle. Listening and doing is a part of God's way of growing us. Oftentimes in the world's way is you're like a doer, be a doer, work hard, strong work ethic, but sometimes it doesn't value this art form of listening, of contemplating. I've learned the most from this through my wife. Laura is a fantastic listener of people, but she's also a fantastic listener of God. Laura has a strong capacity to hear God, to understand his voice. I love this verse in Jeremiah. Jeremiah says, listen, don't let the strong man boast of his strength or the wise man boast of his wisdom, but he who boasts in this, that he knows and understands the Lord. Knowing the voice of God, reading his word, and applying it is where James says that combination, it's going to bring what? Here's another angle. They will be blessed in what they do. Oh, that's where the blessing comes. Well, what's the blessing? The blessing is that God demonstrates his delight through your skilled living because you're inside the framework that provides freedom and blessing to you. Now, I know it's Friday, and I gave you a lot of different angles. Maybe the best application to the dose today is to go back and listen to the dose again. And just ask yourself, God, what are you saying to me? Because this weekend, I just want to be open. I want to be blessed. I'll see you Sunday at church.